Many of us use acrylic paint in our art journals. If you use the matte formulation, the pages won't stick together when you close the journal. But have you ever thought of using acrylic paint and then removing it to have an interesting effect on your pages? In today's class, I'll show you how I do it and give you some tips and techniques. Hello, I'm Daniela Mellen. So when I use acrylic paint in my art journal, I like to paint on already existing pages. This way, the papers have absorbed the paint already, and there's a little barrier between the absorbent paper and the new layer that I'm going to put on now. Now this offers some possibilities because whatever first color paint layer I make, that's the color that will be exposed. So if I want it light, I'll be sure to paint my first layer in a light color. And likewise, if I want it dark, I'll paint my first layer in a dark color. But I have to move quickly. So I'll use either a blunt stylus, the back of a pencil, kind of like the eraser, or the back of a paintbrush. These seem to work really well. And I can make circles, removing the paint from my paper. Now, in some cases, if the paint has dried, it's a subtle effect. If I press harder, I can remove more of the paint, sometimes risking digging into the paper. Or if it has dried already, I can just add another coat of paint over it and then scratch out my shape. Now I can do this around the work and then I'll have some paint left over on the paintbrush. So I'll just use this technique to make marks. I can't really paint with it, it's not a calligraphy pen, but I can get some marks on my work. Another way to do that instead of making circles is to add your paint to your page, again making sure you have a layer down first, and then I can make nice dashes across my work. And again, it can be either really subtle or really severe depending on how much pressure I use to remove the paint and how much the paint has dried. So it's not exactly an exact science. Now you don't have to be limited to circles or dashes. You can use script, you can add hash marks or lines, whatever you really like to use for your art journal. So what I do when I use it is I don't use it as necessarily the focal point of my journal. I'll just add it in a few areas and it just coincides with whatever marks I'm making to really emphasize that repetition. I hope you'll incorporate this art technique into your work. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. I post new videos every Monday with different art techniques, from stamp carving to painting to even stitching. Thanks for joining me.